Welcome to this section on specification of decision-making powers. Who will make the decisions? Who decides the major factors in the country? A constitution is a body of fundamental principles according to which a state is constituted or governed. So as you can see on the screen, the Constitution of India, Constitution means a book which contains the basic principles according to which the state is constituted or governed. The first question you will have to decide is, who gets to decide what the laws governing the society should be? So we need to know the answer for the first question, that is, who will be deciding? Who will decide the laws governing the society that should be? The Constitution has to provide an answer to these questions. It specifies the basic allocation of power in the society, and it decides who gets to decide what the laws will be. So a constitution gives you a clear answer to the question who gets to decide. It specifies very clearly, crystal clearly, the basic allocation of power in the society. It decides who gets to decide. Who decides who gets to decide? The Constitution decides who gets to decide what the laws will be. In democratic constitutions, broadly speaking, the people get to decide, but this matter is not so simple. In any democratic setup, it is broadly speaking, the people get to decide. So, how will the people decide? Is it a simple affair? No. This matter is not so simple. Before identifying what the law in any given society is, you have to identify who has the authority to enact it. In the Indian Constitution, for example, it is specified that in most instances, Parliament gets to decide laws and policies, and that Parliament itself be organized in a particular manner. So in Indian Constitution, it is clearly mentioned that who gets to decide the laws and the policies. It is the Parliament that gets to decide the laws and the policies. But at the same time, Parliament also should be organized in a particular manner. Those specifications are also discussed in the Constitution. So this is the function of the Constitution, to decide and identify what the law in any given society is. You have to identify who has the authority to enact it, who will make it. If Parliament has the authority to enact laws, there must be a law that bestows this authority on Parliament in the first place. You cannot simply say that Parliament will make the laws and we have to follow it. There should also be a provision in the Constitution which clearly mentions and bestows this authority, that Parliament is the highest law-making body in the country. Then only Parliament can have the authority to enact the laws. It is an authority that constitutes the government in the first place. So the Constitution sets very clearly the guidelines, how the Parliament should be there, what is the authority of the Parliament, what is the role of the government in the first place, and those all are the functions of the Constitution. So the second function of the Constitution is to specify who has the power to make decisions in a society. Who will decide the matters related to laws? It decides how the governments will be constituted. So, specification of decision-making powers is the second function of the Constitution, or the second duty of the Constitution, to specify who has the power to make decisions in a society. It also decides how the government will be constituted. That's all we have in this section. Stay tuned. We'll catch you in the next section.